man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know I only let selected few in my circle. And this is a real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get down.
What up? Big Hoop in the building, man. What's up, everybody, on this Thursday morning? I hope y'all Thursday morning's going great, because mine is goddamn going great. We got stuff to talk about today, man. This is going to be a good show. I think y'all don't like this. I take my time with this one. Being the muse of the backdrop today, and we'll get into that in a second. But if you have not done so, if you're new to the channel, hit the like button, subscribe, notification bell. I heard some of y'all not getting my notifications, so if y'all can hit that notification bell, that'll be cool. All right, man, we got some early birds in the building. Everything Lakers in the building says, let's get it. Yes, sir. You know what time it is. CMI said, Brittany Grant. Yeah, man. You know what? I might have another stream just on that subject. And today, we are firstly streaming on Twitch as well. So my Twitch ice, you know, I know it's going to be a slow burn there, but over here on this side, we 2 grand strong. So hopefully we get that Twitch popping as well, man. Thank y'all so much for patronizing the product that is Hoop Jargon. All right, so let's go ahead and get into it, man. So if you guys have been hiding under a rock, you know that former Toronto Raptor big man from Brazil, I believe the brother, his name is Luke Nogueira. He actually leaked an old scout report for when the Raptors played against the Cavaliers in 2017, and it gave an in-depth look about what to do to guard LeBron James and what to expect from him playing basketball. And guys, and this is, I love how detailed this scout report is. Now, he only leaked 1 page from it, but having played Division I basketball myself, a lot goes into making a scout report. A lot of film and comparing contrasts and notes from other coaches to come with a scout report worth a damn. And it's pretty detailed. And if you don't know, Dwayne Casey was the head coach at the time. Shout out to my boy SKC in the building. So Luke dropped dime on this, man. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my guy, goddamn, I'm drawing a blank. FYL Sports. He did a really good, thorough rundown on it, and I'm going to put my spin on it, and I'm going to give information to back the reasons why I say what I say, to kind of give you a nice, fluid argument of how I feel about some of the comments that were said, and if they're on base, if they're off base, and so on and so forth. All right, so we get going. My guy Between the Game Sports popping in. Appreciate you, man. Y'all hit that like button on the way in, man. This is going to be a good one, I promise you. All right, so let's do a share screen, and let's get to it first. And let's start off with Lamont. And I'm going to stop here, and I'm going to inject with some of my personal commentaries, and we're just going to rock it out like that. All right, so first things first. In fair use, Lamont, I know you knew I tagged you already for the stream happening, so don't strike me. Fair use, goddammit. All right, let's get it.
If the opponent on the other team was LeBron James and he was your primary assignment that night, what would you do? Right? I think this is a question that eludes a lot of people. I mean, especially when you talk about the LeBron James haters, you know, how they are able to criticize him, how they able to try to slander him, how they try to make up narratives, how they try to bring.
Now, I got to start off, Lamont. I get that because LeBron James haters do that. But my retort is LeBron James lovers do the exact same thing, probably at a higher clip. So that's my initial response off rip. So it literally goes both ways. And I know that because my group Hoop Jargon I've had for 11 years, one of the most annoying fans in there are LeBron James fans for that very reason that you're bringing up. So I have anecdotal evidence behind it as well. Let's proceed.
Bring up things that aren't even basketball related, just to attack this man, LeBron James. But I pose this question to a lot of people, fans or haters alike. How would you guard LeBron James? And you know what? This question actually was answered to some degree as former NBA player Lucas Nogueira. He actually
and y'all go subscribe to FYF channel, man. He has a really good sports channel. So appreciate you letting me use this footage of yours. So go ahead.
A photo. He actually linked a photo of a.
Oh, it's my guy in the building. I gotta shout out my guy, man. Third World Columbia in the building. Says, what's the damn deal, bro? Hoop Jargon Media Network, man. I can't call it, man. Good to see you, bro. I'm open to pound up after this one, so if y'all want to come up and say y'all's 2 cents, then we can do that.
Game plan that was used by the Toronto Raptors in 2018 to guard LeBron James in the NBA playoffs. And, we talk about scouting reports. We talk about, we go a little deeper than what most casuals go. When we talk about the game, when we do our game, breakdowns, our film study, we try to analyze them in a more technical way. When we talk about how scouts look at games, coaches look at games, how players view game film, that's the type of analysis we try to give you, as opposed to just taking that casual approach, which I just don't know how to do it. I don't know how to watch the game of basketball and just dumb it down to he missed a shot, and I just have to run with that narrative.
Agreed. Basketball is a lot more intricate than just kind of being a color commentator and just stating obvious stuff. You have to really understand things. And to understand things, you understand how things come to be. So I agree with that statement all the way.
I have to.
And moreover, I try to do that here.
To be a bit more intricate, because if you played the game on any serious level, you will have a respect for, especially star players. You will have a respect for what they have to go through on a night in and night out basis.
Agreed again. Why I really reserve calling people trash, and if I ever do that, I'm playing. Because if you really understood what it takes to get to a certain level, and even dudes you would regard as a bum, the kind of buckets they could give the average hooper, like it would blow your mind. So I have to agree with that as well.
Because scouting reports are crucial. I mean, when teams, especially now with so much video, teams are able to build and create scouting reports. Your weaknesses, your strengths, they can break your game down to a T, and then they can build a scouting report based around that. It's extremely hard to be a star in the NBA today. I know a lot of people say it's soft. You can just score whenever you want. I mean, if that was the case, then scouting reports like what I'm about to show you, what Lucas Nogueira actually leaked, wouldn't even exist. Now, the one thing that we do know with this scouting report, and let's go ahead and pull it up right here. So the one thing that we do know is that it wasn't.
And shout out to Luke for dropping this, so you guys can see what an actual scouting report looks like. Thorough bullet points, and these come from a lot of information that you got to condense down from a really, really big profile, and you put them down to the bullet points, and you put it in a way that the players will not only understand, but from a standpoint of players will actually want to retain it. So shout out to the scout team that put this together.
Extremely successful to a certain degree, because you can come up with the best scouting report that you want. You still have to have players that can go out there and execute it. We know that Toronto Raptor team cost Dwayne Casey his job, even though he was coach of the year. He just struggled to solve the LeBron James equation.
Which, no shame in that. 90% of coaches struggle with that. So no shame to Brother Casey for that.
It just seemed like it didn't matter what he tried, how good his team was during the regular season. None of those things mattered, because ultimately it boiled down to executing and stopping this man. And I don't know if he just had the personnel to do it. But when you look at this.
No, he definitely didn't. When DeMar DeRozan's your best player, Kyle Lowry's your second best player, you just don't have the personnel. And I know everybody's high on DeRozan right now because he played very well last year for the Chicago Bulls. But as you see him start to taper off a little bit at the end, that's kind of been his story of his career. He went to San Antonio after the Raptors didn't do so well. So, yeah, no, it definitely was a personnel issue.
Scouting report. I want to see if you guys kind of agree, because Dwayne Casey's looked at as one of the better defensive coaches in the NBA. I mean, I've actually referenced some of the things that he does in practice to help improve my team, the team that I coach defensively. But if we kind of look at this right.
Oh, yeah, SKC, I'm going to definitely address that. Don't worry, my boy.
Here, we look at LeBron James on offense. Look at some of the things that he talks about. Okay, he says good as a ball handler in the pick and roll, 1 point.
We all know that.
0.3 points per game out of the pick and roll. He says LeBron James, surprisingly, excellent as a screener in the pick and roll, 1.21 points per game. I've never looked at, and again, this is crazy, because when you start breaking these things down to a science, these are some of the things we could miss, because when we just watching highlights, we miss these aspects of their game. But Dwayne Casey has highlight. LeBron James is excellent as a screener in the pick and roll, He said he pops twice as much as he rolls. So LeBron James does pop a lot. But again, that's also
agreed. I've been in a lot of LeBron James centric debates, and nobody brings up how good of a screener he is. So I agree with that point. With Lamont shouting that out. Well, I mean, Dwayne Casey's team did that first, but no, I think that's a very salient point there because nobody talks about that.
So understanding when do I pop to create space, when do I roll to occupy space. It says he gets the ball out of pick and roll at a high volume. So teams generally are probably pressed up on him, playing some aggressive defense. He needs those pick and rolls to get the ball. So he said he gets the ball in the pick and roll at a high volume. And then he said at an elite efficiency, once he gets the ball out of a pick and roll, he has an elite efficiency at 1.33 points per game. These are the things that not me. This is not things that as a fan, this is what Dwayne Casey and his scouting staff came up with. We're talking about Dwayne Casey, one of the best defensive coaches in the NBA. These are the things that he's identified that he needs to focus on. He needs his players to be aware of this. They have LeBron James as an elite finisher at the rim with a 77% true shooting percentage at the rim. And he says he's average from the mid-range at 43% true percentage. So LeBron James, I know a lot of people talk about LeBron James' efficiency when they like to compare that to Jordan and some of these other players. Remember, what Jordan makes up for a lot with regards to mid-range inefficiency. And previously in his career, he struggled at the three-point line. He's gotten better now, but he made up for a lot of that by being extremely efficient at the rim. And it also says has taken twice as many three-pointers off the dribble than catch and shoot threes. He said he's good. He said he has a good 3-point attempts off the dribble, and he shoots a 56% true shooting percentage. He said he's average on catch and shoot 3-point attempts at 57% true shooting percentage. So again, I tell people, catch and shoot threes. When we look at some of these players and we see guys miss open shot, catch and shoot threes in the NBA is one of the harder skill sets to acclimate to. Catch and shoot threes is not easy. I mean, just imagine yourself walking into a gym and just go to a spot and just catch and shoot, pass.
I'm going to give a little pushback to that, Lamont. You're supposed to be able to do that. That's minimum. We all shot with the shooting guns. We all shot from somebody rebound for you and you're shooting, spot shooting. Now, you're not lying that for some reason guys don't master that skill. And I'll tell you why. The reason they don't master that skill is because they don't want to, because they want to shoot off the ball. You go into any gym, you watch these kids hooping, everybody got the ball in their hand, pulling up threes. Nobody's like, hey, man, let me shoot 30. I'll rebound for you, and I'll do vice versa. Now, I'm not saying guys don't do that, but that's not the popular thing to do. The popular thing to do is work on your little size up, work on your rhythm, work on your step back three, right? That's what kids want to do now, and LeBron James is harboring that same thing. And let me go a step further. Don't take it from me. Let's take it from NBA scout Dane Irvin, who happens to, be my homie, who happens to be a scout for the Phoenix Suns. Let's hear him talk about what players should have been focused on in that summer league instead of working on the individual game. I'll let Dane take it from here.
And in this corner, and when Devin or Chris throws you this ball, can you make 6 out of 10 shots? I don't care if your mother nor daddy was there. It does not matter.
There you go.
That's not an extra bonus. You're not getting graded on a curve. No one cares.
He said, let's play it again for the ones in the back.
And in this corner, and when Devin or Chris throws you this ball, can you make 6 out of 10 shots? I don't care.
What else need to be said? That's an NBA scout telling you what he's looking for watching you play in this past summer league that just took place. Can you catch a shoot in the corner? Like all those dribbles, size ups you got, cool. We got Devin Booker, we got Chris Paul for that. We don't need you, at least on the Phoenix Suns, to come over here hammering and, getting your rhythm going. Can you stay in the corner? Can you hit 6 out of 10 shots? Let's say it again, because y'all could be like, hoop, you hating, hoop, you tripping, you making shit up, hoop.
And in this corner, and when Devin or Chris throws you this ball, can you make 6 out of 10 shots? I don't care if your mother nor daddy was there. It does not.
There you go, man. That's the NBA scout talking. That ain't hoop jargon talking. So I got to give a little pushback to that notion because, yes, it is hard to do that per se because how people prepare. but if you prepare the proper way, and somebody I saw do this the best was Ray Allen. Ray Allen, why he transitioned so smooth to be an off-ball spot-up shooter is because he was that, and he was a primary scorer when he played for Milwaukee. So when it was time for him to take a step back for the Celtics, he was already ready. He was already prepared. And what I assert is, if you are serious about your craft, you can do the same thing. So that's why I give LeBron a few marks, off of his scoring prowess, because it's not diversified enough in that capacity, because it should be. You should be a good spot-up shooter. That's the easiest thing doing basketball, but it's the hardest because people don't want to work on it. And I find it to be a little problematic. Too much LeBron in the media these days. I mean, well, he earned that. He earned that for himself. I give him that, but I personally don't enjoy it. But I understand why he gets so much media attention. He's earned it. Prime Time to Better says, what up, HJ? We in here. D, I love Jack State University. The PVU stopper, man. I'm about to block you. Shout out to Prime Time. SKC says, didn't have a lot of the old head shooters practice spot-up shooting religiously, like 100 per practice. Yes, that was a big thing. And even when I came up, playing Division I basketball and what have you, especially when I played overseas, like spot-up shooting, that was a big thing. Like, I mean, we used to have these drills when I played in Switzerland, man. Like, and the drill would literally go forever if your spot-up shooting wasn't on point. And it just was like 5 on 5 on 5, shooting from different angles and shit. And you would really get embarrassed if your spot-up game was not on point. So this is the thing. It's just that guys at a certain level just don't want to work on it anymore because it's boring. And I just say, hey, that's your problem. That's a you problem. You don't want to work on that. Everything Lakers says, but that's for the Suns, and they're looking for a scouting depends on the team, and the scouts looking for yes. But I encourage you, my friend. Most teams are looking for that. Does KCP ring a bell? Wasn't he a Laker? That's what KCP did. Every team needs a guy who knows how to spot up properly, work into space, catch and shoot. Because it's a premium, because guys don't want to do that. JJ Redick made a career out of that. Because JJ Redick, if he couldn't shoot, JJ Redick would be a librarian. And it's funny, he's talking about guys back in the 60s or whatever, in the 50s, talking about how they were janitors. Like, bro, you would be a janitor too, dog. You ain't had that wet jumper, bro. I don't understand JJ Redick and what this shit he's on. But I mean, let us proceed forward. I don't want to get too caught up on this. Oh, this post. Okay. I knew the profile picture, but you threw me off with the name. All right, bet. All right, let's keep going forward.
Catch and shoot. A lot of times you'll probably miss the first 2 to 3 until you find your rhythm. In the NBA, imagine being a catch and shoot player, a player that doesn't even touch the ball as much as LeBron, and you're asked to be a catch and shoot 3-point shooter. It's an extremely difficult skill to acquire and to maintain. So,
again, it depends on what lens you're looking at it through. You're looking at it from a lens where it's an AAU-centric thing where everybody has to have an individual game. And, yeah, it's hard to kind of, with lack of better terms, devolve your game into being that. But as Dane says, there are plenty of scouts looking for those kind of simple games. And in that same interview, he went on to say that some people are dumbfounded when they find some of these guys at smaller schools who are more fundamentally sound, who get these NBA looks, right? Instead of guys who got all this individual game, because they don't need that. They got a team full of that shit. You need some guys who know their role, who's going to build the team dynamic. And unfortunately, more guys should have it in their bag where they can just stand in a place, catch and shoot the ball, man. Golly, man, we learned this from little leagues, man.
Again, they've identified.
Y'all hit that like button, man. I see we're 11 strong in the building, man. Y'all hit that like button. Appreciate y'all. If y'all on Twitch, I know it's my first stream here. I hope y'all like what we're doing. Do whatever y'all do on Twitch, because I'm still trying to figure that shit out.
He struggles as a catch and shoot 3-point shooter, but off the dribble, they said he considers him to be a good 3-point shooter when he's coming off the dribble. So we've seen LeBron James do that dribble, size up move, and go into a step back 3.
Agreed.
Much more so this past season, where he was really, really good at making that shot. But he has struggled in the catch and shoot scenario. They also, I think Dwayne Casey and his staff also identify, he says he has taken 69 3-pointers going to his left and has been very good, shooting at a 67% true shooting percentage as compared to just 7 3-point attempts going to the right. I talk to my players about this as well. I look at myself.
And what he's about to go into is shooter tendencies, which is real big. And I got to say, from my own anecdotal standpoints, when I played basketball, I was really big on angles and learning player tendencies. So I was a really good shot blocker, but only being like 6'7". So I'm not super tall, but I would learn player tendencies, and I learned if you like that guy like to duck his shoulder before he goes up. I know that you can't go straight from ducking your shoulder to the rim. You're trying to delay. So I have a waiting time with jump. So I didn't foul out a lot either. So a lot of bigs, they struggle in this department because they try to just swat at everything instead of reading the tendencies. And so Lamont's going to lament about how when he played, even though he was left-handed, he didn't mind shooting to the right. And those are tendencies that you learn, and that's what the scouting report is pretty much talking about. So let's proceed forward on that. And that's a very good point. Before we get back, Third says, outside of LeBron's athleticism, nothing he does is impressive. He never worked to add on other weapons of this repertoire, and he can't post down low unless it's small guys, and he's an average free throw shooter. Well, you know what? I'm gonna bring up something. I don't disagree with that totally, but I'm gonna bring something up that's gonna give you a little more perspective on that. But I'm not mad at that per se.
The one thing that was scouted about me in high school was when a lot of teams, because I'm a left-hander, a lot of teams would force me right. But teams started to quickly find out that I shot my highest percentage pulling up off of my right-hand dribble, going to my left hand. So I know a lot of times people say, oh, if he's left-handed, force him right.
He's not lying. A lot of people, that is conventional thinking, that you think, oh, you go left, you're going left. But some people, and LeBron James, for example, and Kobe's going to – well, Kobe, I cut that part. But Kobe mentioned how LeBron James, to stop him is stop him from going left, even though he's right-handed. So very good point by Lamont there.
Force him right. That's sometimes not always the best strategy, because once you start doing your scouting report on different players, a player like me, I wasn't necessarily a driver. I was much more of a shooter. I'm always seeking out ways to get my shot off. I felt more comfortable gathering into my shot coming from off the right-hand dribble as opposed to the left hand, where I am stronger with my left hand on the dribble. I'm probably going to drive more with my left, but that pull-up jumper, which is what teams really scouted out of me, wasn't really.
I'll be honest. I think I was more comfortable driving or drifting left and then pulling up as well. So, yeah, that's the case with me too.
Really my strong suit when I was dribbling with my left. And so I think you have to be mindful of that. So, again, I think he's done a good job of identifying some things. He says high volume of drives. This is excellent when he takes the shot at a 1.39 points per game. But he says he's near average.
Shoots my guy Sub-Zero in the building, man. I'm open the panel up, man, if y'all want to discuss this. And yeah, man. But I got some more. I'm gonna give a thorough rundown on this.
When he passes 1.06 points per game. So he talks about when LeBron drives, and I think this is something that was missing out of LeBron James's game this year, because LeBron James was so focused and intent on scoring for the Lakers. But he says when LeBron drives and takes shots, he's scoring at a 1.39 points per game. But when he passes the ball, right? When he passes the ball, not just off the drive, but when he's just passing the ball.
And for those who coming in new, y'all hit the like button, please. And what Lamont is breaking down is a leaked scouting report that Lucas Nagiria, who formerly played for the Toronto Raptors, put out about the matchup against LeBron James. So this is an actual NBA scouting report that we're looking at right here on your screens.
Ball around. Not just his points per game suffer, but his team's points per game suffer. So he is a much better drive and kick player than people even give him credit for. I think that's where he's really made great strides. I think that's what he really came into the league doing, that drive and kick.
Man, salute my boy Sub-Zero, man, dropping that 5 on it, man. You know what that gets you over here. I got to stop the show, man. When you come correct, I got to come correct right back. All right, man. So you know Dollar Bill got to make an appearance. Money, yeah. Money, yeah. Appreciate that, Sub. Let's keep it rocking.
Surrounded him with shooters. At least when he came into the league was much easier as opposed to now when shooters are at a premium and you can't get them cheap anymore. So it says catch and shoot on closeouts at a low volume. Remember, LeBron James is a higher IQ player. This is
agreed.
Something that a lot of people don't give him credit for.
I got to give you pushback on that, Lamont. Everybody, especially in the mainstream medium, calls LeBron James a savant, one of the smartest players ever touched a basketball, brilliant. So maybe you're talking about like casual fans who just kind of want to cut LeBron's legs off. Maybe that's the case, but as far as what we see in the media, come on, bro. Like everybody bloviates over how smart he is, how much of a basketball savant he is. I mean, we know the names. Stephen A. Oh, he's a basketball savant. Nick Wright, well, one of the smartest point guards ever played the game. Y'all like my voices. But I got to call cap on that one. Like a lot of people bloviate over how smart he is. So I can't meet you there, bro.
LeBron James is not going to shoot bad shots.
Yeah, sometimes he shoots some bad deep threes, but overall, I get what you're saying. He is an efficient shooter overall, so I'll meet you there.
He's not going to shoot shots that he's not comfortable shooting, and he's not going to allow you to. He's not going to allow you to force him into a bad shot. And we see a lot of players do this. They catch and shoot the ball even on tough closeouts.
Agreed. Very low basketball IQ from a lot of players because they got in their mind they're going up, and that's what the hell they about to do. They're going up.
Dwayne Casey has noticed on tough closeouts, you're not going to get LeBron James to shoot. Remember, he's not a great catch and shoot player. So you may, understanding that, on any swing pass of LeBron, you may want to stop short. You may want to stop short and play the catch and shoot, right?
Agreed, because in principle, you're and now here's the catch-22. Because by principle, you're expected to close out on every jumper. So it goes counterintuitive of what you are taught to do as a player by not closing out. So I understand that theoretically, but you might get your ass toasted in film session unless they implicitly tell you do not close out on LeBron. Because you're going to get hammered in practice, in film session if you're not closing out. But in theory, you are exactly right, Lamont. I just wonder in practice how many coaches would allow that to happen, even knowing that he's not a great catch and shooter.
You want to play the shot and maybe defend the drive if he attacks. So again, it also is about having personnel that can consistently do this. So obviously,
agreed, personnel matter.
Dwayne Casey, at least in 2018, was able to identify that LeBron James struggles with catch and shoots. But at the same time, LeBron James also understands that he struggles with catch and shoots, and he
that's good self-awareness. Yes, agreed.
Shoots the ball off catch and shoots at a low volume. So that tells you right there you're dealing with a high IQ player, and you're going to always have to be thinking when you're defending LeBron James. And he says he gets the ball off of cuts at a high volume at an elite efficiency at 1.58 points per game. And so this is something that you might hear casuals say, because a lot of these casual fans will run around saying, LeBron James can't play off the ball. He can't move without the ball. That's the complete opposite of what NBA head coach Dwayne Casey said about LeBron James. He says LeBron James gets the ball off of cuts at a high volume at an elite efficiency of 1.58 points per game. Off of cuts, that's moving without the ball. Without the ball, LeBron James is one of the most high IQ players in the NBA.
Without the ball, I got to get pushback on that. Now, and my question is, what type of cuts are we talking? Because as we know, when LeBron has his fingerprints on a offense, they're very limited off-ball situations. And I think Kobe, back when he was alive, he mentioned that they ran a two-crown system with him and Kyrie, which as him and Kyrie had a lot of synergy, playing off each other, but it was not a lot of motion from the other guys. This is Kobe words, not mine. And in fact, I got to give pushback to the notion that, LeBron is getting a bad rap on that. And again, don't listen to me. We listen to the late great Kobe Bryant.
I think he's understanding the importance of conserving energy. You see him operating at the elbows. You see him operating below the free throw line, right, deep corner. And from those positions, he can take 1-2 dribbles, raise up and shoot. He can get to his spots. He can get to that right shoulder very comfortably where he can fade away from. But yeah, he's certainly evolved that in his game. I mean, he didn't have that when he first came into the league. He's evolved his shooting. He's evolved his ability to post and fade. And it's been, I think he's understanding it.
In that vein, LeBron has gotten to the point where he's gotten better off ball, to your point. But as Kobe said, he didn't always have that. He didn't always have that diversity in the scoring. So it's not so far-fetched that people give him flack for that. because that's something that he kind of came into late into his career. And as Kobe said, that's by virtue of him learning how to conserve energy. And the whole context of the conversation, Kobe was speaking about in the playoffs, how it's a game of momentum. And you have to learn to control momentum, and part of which is learning how to conserve energy. So it's not so much playing off ball, and being a hero, you learn to pick your spots. So again, to your point, Lamont, you did. Some people do just gloss over the fact that LeBron has grown his game, but it ain't like it's always been there. It ain't like it's at such a peak. Whereas guys like, let's say, Kevin Durant, who plays off ball way better at a way higher clip, he ain't quite there, but he ain't quite what people say that he got no off ball game. So I do want to point that out as we go forward, because that's a half truth.
For all the idiots out there that say he needs to not bring the ball up the court, he needs to allow other people to be point guards. You guys sound stupid.
I do agree with that, though. I'm sorry, man. Sometimes less is more. I understand how he's very successful with doing what he does, but I think it would behoove him to be off ball a little more as he gets older, because that style of play, his octane is down, man. Guys are not afraid of him anymore, and so him being a little more of a fox, and in the standpoint of being sly instead of being a swift fox, that may behoove him going forward. I mean, because if we're being honest, I mean, Father Time is knocking on the door. This man about to be 38 years old.
Saying that stuff, because real head coaches, real scouts that actually analyze the game from a true perspective, and they're not just saying things because it sounds good to say some of these things on a live stream when really no one knows how to fact check you or will actually go fact check you. You guys say the complete opposite takes when you're talking about LeBron James, especially the LeBron James haters. He can't play off ball. Where does this narrative come from?
Well, as Kobe pointed out, he wasn't good playing off ball. So it's not derived from nothing. And people say that because of, in that LeBron James system, very high efficiency usage rate from himself. And it's hard to kind of, for other guys to get their rocks off. I mean, we've seen guy after guy after guy who even play off ball was like, yeah, I can't do that with him. So it's not a far-fetched notion, actually.
Where does that narrative come from? It comes from casuals just saying stuff because it sounds good, and because you believe, because he brings the ball up the court, because he's always playmaking and facilitate. He can't do anything other than that. Dwayne Casey says otherwise. And then Lucas Nogueira also said, and when he also released this, and I wish he would have released the full defensive scope.
Agreed. We need some more of that defense, because boy, I got a surprise for y'all after this. Well, not surprise, but I just want to hammer home my point rather about the defensive aspect. I think this part with offense has been on point, but yeah, I got more about this defense for sure.
I wish he would have just turned that page and gave us that second page. But the first thing it says right here, it says defensive wise. It says LeBron James is below average defending the ball handle.
Man, we all knew that. Luka Doncic, anybody? You remember when Luka kept trying to ISO LeBron? and man, listen, man. My intent is not to disparage LeBron like he ain't one of the greatest dudes to ever lace him up. Because here's what happens. It gets goofy in these spaces when you try to just have an honest evaluation and someone would accuse you of being a hater or accuse you of being disrespectful or yada, yada, yada. So I feel like I got to always preface my statement before I go in. But, I mean, we've known this already. If you watch basketball, LeBron James has been pretty bad on ball and pretty freaking bad off ball, too. Do we need to go to the bit of a bean footage? Pope says he poking holes. He cooking. Man, I ain't trying to cook him. I'm just cooking the premise. I'm cooking the premise. I appreciate him allowing me to do that. But let's look no further than LeBron James's great, astute defense.
In their book. See what they got.
The closeout. Since when have you seen a star player get pushed into a closeout because your off-ball awareness is so weak? Let's look at it again. Y'all
in
watch
their book. See what they got.
You see how you pushed him into the closeout on Gallinari? Bruh, that is horrible self-awareness. It looks like James Harden. It looks like James Harden. James Harden defense was, man, I guess he cleaned up a little bit, but for the Rockets about 3 years ago, it was awful, man. It was awful. So again, let me run that back one more time, just in case y'all blind. Y'all need the glasses and watch Kyle Kuzma push him into their close.
In their book. See what they get.
Dude, that's some shit you see like on 7th grade basketball, bro. One of your teammates is just exceptional, and these other kids don't know what the hell they doing. And you got one kid just exceptional, just kind of doing the work for everybody else. That's crazy, dog. Say he pushed it. Yeah, come on, man. You push him into position. That's crazy, dude. That's crazy. Shout out to DJ QM in the building, man. That's rough, man. They say, y'all, listen to, I have no problem, man. Like, I don't agree with you. I think Lamont does a good job breaking stuff down. I think he just, he missed a few things. So I'll just clean up a few things. That's it.
Which is quite surprising. It says below average defending the ball handler at 1.11 points per at a 1.11 PPP or screener at a 1.10 PPP in the pick and roll, and he does a high volume of switches.
Yeah, because you're on the foot speed. So if you're on the foot speed, what are you gonna do? You're gonna switch and have somebody else do it. Oh, I got more. I got more. But wait, there's more. And I love bringing this stat up. This is LeBron's defensive output this year, man. This is right before the end of the season, so I would say it's about 10 more games left when they put this out. Your boy LeBron James hold it down at a whopping 439 on the defensive rank scale, right above his boy Russell Westbrook. That's horrible, bro. So this ain't new information to me. LeBron James' defense, in my opinion, has been down since 2015. But nobody talks about it because he's so great still on the offensive side from a numerical standpoint. But from what you actually are doing, people who watch basketball, his defense been off. Hell, I'll even say the year he had the chase down block on Clay, not on Clay, on Iggy, his defense wasn't great. His help defense, was good, chase down block. But I mean, hell, how many chase down blocks you gonna get in a given series? Shit, 1? In the given playoffs, what, 2? So people put a lot of emphasis on something that doesn't have a lot of impact on the actual game. So come on. AJ closed out a lack of effort. Is that a true lack of awareness? If it's a latter, does it speak for his defensive IQ? No, it's laziness. And I'm gonna lay this, I'm gonna land the plane on that theory of him playing bad defense. And I'm gonna strike it pretty hard. And again, I'm gonna cross into the HJ a hater phase, and I don't give a shit. Because my opinion is just based on what I see. It's not based on whether I want you to do this or that. It's just what I see. I'm sorry. So he could have injured himself. Sheesh, you can see his frustration in the push. He tied his lack of defense. Yes, man, it's like if you look into the psyche of it, Kyle Kuzma has no right. On paper, you got no right to push no damn LeBron James into no damn closeout, bro. It's like, can y'all extrapolate that whole situation? It's like you have no right to correct LeBron James. But like you said, Pope, in that vein of situation, that strikes me as like, dog, man, we've been over this how many times? Like, shit, man. He just pushed him over there. He wasn't even thinking. It was a reflexive thing. He's like, dog, how many times they told you about that shit? That's what that looks like to me. NCCU dog, so I like the money. Here's a LBJ stay in Tennessee as much as he wants to portray himself as objective. Well, I've asked him, and he said he is a LeBron neutralist. So I told him on stream, I take you at your word, but I have accused him of the same. But the man told me he's not. So I take men at their word unless you show me evidence you're not. So I'll leave it at that. Sub-Zero says being able to score and win doesn't quite equate to being the best for LeBron James and have the ball the whole game. Right, there you go. Again, not to shit on LeBron, but just being objective and honest. He hasn't had a lot of his win-loss percentage rate as far as the finals ain't great for this to be a foregone conclusion that he shouldn't take a different approach. But it depends on how you look at it. You can say, well, he's been to 10 finals, so maybe his way works. But Jerry West's been to 9, so it's just like how you want to slice the pizza. You want to cut them in the square, or you want to cut them into triangles. Depends on how you want to look at it. But let's get back into it.
So this is one of the negatives. So again, if you are one of those LeBron James haters, maybe you want to potentially attack his defense. Dwayne Casey was able to identify LeBron James as an average defender when guarding the ball. And then when he
said below average, bro. Right there. Black and white league below average, my guy.
Gets screened, he will switch before he stays with the tough assignment. Now, we've seen LeBron James fight through screens and stay. We've seen that on occasion. We saw that in 2020 in the bubble when he successfully guarded Kawhi Leonard and then Paul George successfully in one play. I mean, he can defend at a high volume.
Agree. He can defend in his Spurs. I definitely agree with that. He still has the ability. He just doesn't stay in power, and I don't think he even wants to be honest.
Now, I think you can go with two potential narratives of this. You can say that he's lackluster on the defensive end, or one might say, well, high usage offensive players, it's tough for those guys to also be elite on the defensive side.
I agree with that. However, if you're gonna tell me you're one of the best guys to ever play basketball and your defense is still good, you gotta do it. You can't just go off reputation. I gotta see it. Because if I don't see it, I got issues.
The ball as well, especially when you're looking at a player like LeBron James that's not just asked to score. We've seen great scorers in this league, like the Kobe's and the Jordans, but none of those guys were also asked to facilitate to the level that LeBron James
does not matter because they're not facilitators. And this is the efficiency versus proficiency argument that a lot of people get caught up in. They are not triple threat players. So that's not their game to facilitate because they work inside the constructs of an offense, i.e. the triangle. So you don't have to come up court and be a point guard if you understand your role playing the triangle, which has plenty of movement up top. Your bigs get some passing movement, and your bigs get some facilitation duties, which leads to you being more proficient playing off ball. So, yeah, it's almost like you're trying to ask an alligator to fight an eagle in the sky. It's not the same thing. What you should do is evaluate how alligators fight other sea animals and how eagles fight against other aeronautical animals. That's how you get the better comparison. You can't ask the eagle and the alligator to fight each other because it's not apples to oranges. You know what I'm saying?
Facilitates on the offensive side of the ball. And I think that's where a lot of people miss the ball with LeBron James. When they go to elevate Jordan or Kobe and some of the great scorers over LeBron, those guys' only role was
and correct me if I'm wrong, Kobe and Jordan average like around 6 assists a game. LeBron, I think career average is like around 8 or 9. Y'all correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't even think that's a big disparity if we really want to play that game. But, y'all correct me in the comments if I'm off on that.
To score. LeBron's role is not only to score 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30 points per game, but he also needs to be the best facilitator on the team.
But, again, it goes to the chicken versus egg theory. Like, yeah, amongst the constructs of how he wants to play, yeah, he has to do that. But on the other side of the coin, excuse me, maybe if you did a little less in facilitating and was a little more proficient with your off ball, you wouldn't need to be so heavily a facilitator. So that's kind of my retort to that notion. So it's kind of like you can't have it both ways. So if you want to play that way, play that way. But you can't say, oh, well, I'm so tired playing this way, I can't play defense. No, it doesn't work that way. So maybe you should acquiesce something somewhere else to have a more complete game. Just an assertion.
Now, is that by design? Probably so. Could these teams go out and seek other point guards? But why would you want a less superior point guard when you have LeBron James on your team?
Well, because we need him to go back and play defense, like you just alluded to, Lamont. Like we gotta. Less is more, man. Less is more. I say this about Russell Westbrook all the time. Less is more. So you may need to concede some of your facilitation duties if it leads to you playing better defense from a holistic standpoint that helps your team out. So that's kind of the line of thinking when it comes to a situation like that.
I more than likely, I want the highest IQ player with the ball at all times. But you guys.
I understand that, though. I would prefer to have the highest IQ person with the ball. I understand that. I just don't agree with the build-up to put him with the ball in his hands. But I understand that just on his face value, that does make sense.
It's just a glimpse into how NBA teams truly analyze players and truly try to break down the game. It's not going to be, it's no easy task.
Agreed.
It's no easy task when you you know, when you have to guard LeBron James. We just saw that in the Drew League. You know, a guy that.
Okay, so he's about to go into the offensive sector, and I kind of want to crystallize that point with defense. So again, in his overarching points, Lamont not wrong, but again, I'm not even making it about him. This is about him breaking down what Lucas has given to us, you know, which is privy information. Is that LeBron James, man, he brings a lot to the table, but there are things that you can assess and that you can break down from him, and ways that you can properly assess with properly, I use that word too many times, to properly understand what he is as a whole player. And defensively, it's a whole bunch of deficiency, man. It just is, man. And as Dwayne Casey pointed out, and I wish we'd have got more on that, you see that, man, LeBron James is a lot more shiny than it is an actual muscle car as far as his whole body of work. We only evaluate him on one side of the basketball as a consensus, and we all can see there's gaping holes on the other side. So let me go further. So just so, I mean, again, this, I know you can put a highlight film together or a low light film for that matter on anybody, but I can't ignore this. Let's look at some of LeBron James's defensive or lack thereof prowesses that he's shown, because I can't ignore this, man. I can't ignore this. Let's check it out. I'm gonna turn the volume down and we'll just evaluate what we see. You turn it down. All right, let's get it. Look at your boy standing opposite side of basketball, just watching. Like my high school coach said, man, basketball a great game to watch, man.
They didn't do it that time, though. On shoot, wide open.
So that's the on ball stuff that Casey was talking about. So his man kicks off, he drops middle, well, drops kind of short in the free elbow.
Bron and the other guys just stand around.
All right, so he's driving. So if normally you see a situation like this, you're either probably gonna try to what they call it, stunt. You're gonna show, you'll probably come back and close out. But look how upright he is. You're not ready to defend anything. You're too upright.
Around, keeping their place.
Look at good old Olay defense. Not trying to get the rebound, not trying to y'all can't see my hand. Not trying to get the rebound, not trying to box out. Just good old watching around.
Bunch of extra chances for the Grizz.
Possession changes. Your man gets the ball. This man never gets out of a standing position, dude. Come on now. And I'm a little frustrated because I'm a Lakers fan. I got to watch this shit night in and night out. Come on, man.
Bunch of misses.
Ball gets passed, nothing. You're not looking to see who's open.
I've been wrapped.
Look at them fight nice and hard, try to get a rebound. Okay, they get an offensive rebound, so you know it's scramble defense. You should be getting back to where you're supposed to get, so you probably would run back out this way. Offensive rebound. Your man gets the ball.
Down deep. Kind of Tim Legler would be having kittens about this.
Lord have mercy. Come on, man. Come on, man. Is Hoop Jargon tripping? Somebody tell me, man.
Yes.
All right, let's see the breakdown here. We got ball up top, look like Mike Conley Jr., LeBron playing. He's at the elbow right now. Let's see what happens.
Valanciunas dominate on the inside, but then
Why? Why are you sinking deep in the paint, bro? What are you doing? Now, it's one thing exerting yourself on offense. It's another thing when you're not even trying. Come on, bro. Not even trying, man. Come on now. Look at this. And Bruno Caboclo, another Brazilian guy, he's terrible. So maybe that's why LeBron was damn to shoot. So you know what? I'm gonna give him benefit of doubt. Like, it's Bruno Caboclo, whatever. Him and Lucas Nigeria are homeboys. So they both from Brazil. So ironically speaking, to the whole overarching point of this thing.
inside. Then everybody's like,
but come on, man. Look at this. Even his man is trying to at least show. His man, at least, who is that? I forget that dude's name. At least he's trying to show a little bit. Come on, man. This ain't defense, bro.
get back.
For three. How many times, Jalen, do you see two guys rotate?
All right, so I think that's Draymond Green talking. I don't know. But okay, so you're closing out corner. Good. That's what you're supposed to do.
Take to the corner three-point shooter. Wow. Now, two guys are going to rotate, but guess what? Two up.
All right, so they passed out. So what should happen is, this is Brandon Ingram. He should go out to the corner, go get Conley. LeBron should at least look paint, be ready to adjust. because he can't really do anything because KCP's over here on the corner, man. So he has to pretty much, I would probably, if I was him, I would step up and secure the ball here. But it's pretty much all you can do right now based on the rotation.
Other guys are going to run.
Again, you run to the ball. Why are you running corner when this dude caught the ball in the middle of the paint? Come on, man. What are you doing?
Away from.
What are you doing?
He's going to dunk this basketball.
It's Joakim Noah. What else is he going to do? You go body him and take the ball out of his hand. He's not going to. What else is he going to do but drive and rim run? Come on, man.
Surveys the floor. Goes to work.
Good old kick defense. Let me stop, man.
Sets up Buddy. Wide open.
Yes, sir.
But the kick and the watch, though. The kick and the watch, it's the watch for me. How they say, I don't know, Thotty Pop used to be saying. It's the watch for me, man.
Goes to work.
Goes for the kick.
Sets up Buddy.
And watches. It's more defense played on the bench. It's more defense on the bench, dog. Lord have mercy.
Wide open.
Yes, sir.
Fox looks.
And so happened he missed it. He missed it, but that is such a bad defensive possession, man. That's no effort. And if you weren't so good on the offensive end, you'd be on the bench, man. That's pathetic, man. I'm gonna catch up y'all comments, but yeah, let me get to these. And I'm open the panel up.
Is the floor. Goes to work.
Turns into a wide open jumper.
Lord have mercy.
You're LeBron James. You
Lord
have to
have
give effort.
Lord have mercy. Lord have mercy.
Made by whomever.
Come on, man. Nothing need to be said about that.
He was my man, but he's as old as us. Can't have that. Now look at this. Rondo gets a layup. Now, Jalen, you played in the league.
Oh my goodness.
Now, that's horrible.
Like this when you had a.
Now, let me put it this way. If you were a leader and your team was doing that shit, would you not be on everybody's ass? Walking back like that?
Here's the jump shot.
Right.
You backpedal for defense.
Now, I'm not going to put that up just on LeBron, man. That's Frank Vogel, too, man. That's pathetic, man.
There's 4 guys backpedaling after a made
That's fucking pathetic, man.
basket
At home.
and they give up a free dunk.
Well, no, that's not Vogel. That was that Luke Walton? That's pathetic.
Thompson for Durant to the pocket. This quarter.
I mean, that was transition defense. I'm not going to give him too much guff for that. But, I mean, poor effort. But, I mean, there are way more glaring holes than that, in my opinion. What they say when you turn the ball over, you better go back and play defense. So, you know, kind of a rudimentary turnover, but no effort, dog. So, and people would talk about, oh, they had Kevin Durant. Oh, they had Iggy. They had stuff like this loses you series. Stuff like this will lose you a series, man. No effort, no heart, no grit. Easy damn transition bucket right here. This is what gets your ass whooping series.
Ball able to get to it, leading to this. The layup.
Maybe 7, 8 years old. You learn how to stop the ball first. LeBron misses a layup.
It happens. I'm not gonna blame him for that. People miss bunnies. It happens. But again, like I said, you make a mistake, get your ass back on defense. You're down fucking 14 points. You sit around watching, dog.
Now, Kyrie is further back than LeBron. Watch how this play ends up, Jalen.
LeBron at least wiped his chest.
First of all, LeBron's not even in the picture.
That's pathetic, man.
Putting the onus and the pressure on KCP to have to decide.
Yes.
Do I go run to Kyrie?
Or do I stay back on Jaylen Brown?
Behind me
Yep.
and Jaylen.
Yep, he had to pick. So, and KCP made the smart move. So he had to decide, do I give up 3 points or do I give up 2? He decided 2, which is the smart play.
Do I go run to Kyrie? Oh, but I forgot. There's a guy behind.
I'm going to give up 2 before I give up 3. That's a very heady play from a heady defender.
Behind me and Jaylen Brown. This is just, you know.
Raptors on the perimeter in this offensive thing, but they got a good midfield, inside, outside.
All they're watching on the backside, man. And now, LeBron didn't have a lot of impact on this, in my opinion, if he was being active. But just look at the standing up. And so this goes to my assertion. He has not played defense since 2015. His last defensive accolade was in 2014, I believe. He ain't played defense since 2015. I'll die on that hill. And that's kind of what I want to encapsulate about the defensive aspect of what's going on, because nobody talks about this or they gloss over it.
in this offensive thing, but they got a good mixture of
Look at all that watching.
outside.
I mean, because he could have dove in to help. I don't think that would have really stopped that. But look at the effort. It's no effort.
And now they're just picking us apart now on the perimeter in this offensive thing, but they got a good mixture of inside, outside. And now they're just picking.
Look at this. First off, we all know, look at man and ball. We all know this. So instead of, who's that, Van Vliet? Instead of keeping your eye on a doggone scorer, your goal is to double team a mid-range shooter. What the hell, man? Let's see the setup again. This is sin number one. Yeah, that's Fred Van Vliet. You're supposed to see man and ball, which means you're supposed to be down here lower than him. You're supposed to be able to see everything. So he's behind your back. So if he was a dunker, he would have dunked it. He would have put his nuts on your head. That's the easiest way. Excuse me. That's the easiest way to get dunked on right there. Not looking. You have a guy running short corner and just going to embarrass you. I used to love when people did this. I put my finger up like I want the oop. I would put my nuts all on your head. So Van Vliet is a shooter, so obviously he's not going to do that. But it's like, dude, come on, man. What are we doing? Look at this walking. What the fuck is that? What the fuck is that, man? Come on, y'all. Hit that like button, man. What is that, man?
That's his 4-3.
Look at this. Look at this. Lord have mercy, man. Not only is it no effort, it's bad technique and it's bad principle.
That's his 4th 3-pointer of the first half.
Struggling mightily since the all.
Let's see what else.
Break. It will be interesting tonight to see how they have tired legs.
So feeling they look like they have tired legs. And other teams seem to be faster than they are.
All right. I don't know what I was looking at on that one. I can't say I saw anything wrong with that.
4-3. 4-3.
Okay, he's saying he in the hustle for the loose ball. True, but I mean, whatever. It's a 50. But then you're standing, no effort on it, and you're standing and watching, bro. This is Valentine. Valentine can shoot threes. Like, come on, man.
Behind the back, Valentine.
Oh, man. So, to crystallize the point, man, I've seen so much deficiency defensively, so I'm glad Dwayne Casey's report had to accentuate a little bit of that. And so I just want to kind of build on that. And I think what he said about the offensive stuff was absolutely correct. But we saw this from an inside NBA perspective, and I wanted to crystallize it with showing some actual game footage to kind of pair with it. So, maybe I'm tripping, man. You tell me. You tell me. Let me open the panel up. Y'all want to come by and talk about it. What do y'all think? I do want to say again, I think Lamar did a good job on this stream. He saw it from the perspective that he views it at. I don't happen to agree with it in some of the things he said, but that's his perspective. And one thing is not so easy on this YouTube thing is to be batting 1,000 on everything. Some of the stuff that you see, somebody else may see something a little different. So let's see. NCCU Dog says the month gave excuse that LBJ has to do so much. That's why he's below average on defense end. It's never his fault. Well, yeah, and that's kind of the counterbalance. That people say, oh, there's haters out there. The counterbalance is people they look at it like, damn, man. So when is it ever any burden of responsibility on his shoulders? That would be the retort. So we got the Pope coming up, man. What up, Pope?
Oh my, what up, Hoop?
What's the deal, man?
Man, you slicing and dicing. You probably said this. You slicing and dicing like an indictment. You hear what I'm saying?
I had to, dog. I had to.
Hey, righteous man. Listen, Hoop. We got to do this. We got to do a Laker podcast, me and you. Because you see, I got the everything Lakers. I've been trying to get it together. I got to start talking about these Lakers more often. Especially with this LeBron James. But I gotta say, man, how you got this footage up here. This not even what you call it, bad defense. This is horrible. This is beyond me. This is when you know, okay, cats just got names. The names keep guys around, because I'm sure if you got this footage and breaking it down, so do they. Everybody. The Lakers, the NBA, everybody got this footage. But they would talk about this guy being the GOAT. They got the nerve that I can guarantee you can put up highlights, defensive highlights or low lights of Vince Carter at 40 years old, the Atlanta Hawks. You will never see nothing like that. You probably won't be able to find none from Michael. No old players that really was in their stuff. Karl Malone as a Laker. You would never see that type of effort, bro. I mean, I can go on and on. I've never that right there. That really just take you out of top 10, bro. How can you what? Talking about number one, you ain't even in top 10. That's lack of effort. IQ is so low. How you so high basketball IQ? Now we gotta slice that too, cause he ain't got a high basketball IQ. I used to think that too, but now after seeing that, nigga, your defensive basketball IQ, we gotta break this down. Offensively, your IQ is smooth. Defensively, you dumb as shit. He dumb as shit, bro. Like I'm like you said, that stuff elementary kids. Cal Kuzma gotta push you, Cal Kuzma.
Yeah,
gotta push the hell out of you too. He pushed you like you took his lunch money the day before or something. Like you got a player like Cal Kuzma who is tired of your shit, bro, because they watch this in film. They know you garbage. They like, look, how we supposed to win when our leader, look how he playing. Look how he playing on defense. He been doing this I'm so glad you showed. He been doing this since Cavaliers. This ain't even just as an older person. Come on, man. Come on, man. I'm through with LBJQ community, bro. And they gonna offer him $97 million? Really? And this is what he got on. Y'all not watching this, Genie Bus? You want to pay him for 2 more years, $50 million? What kind of sense does that make? It got to be just some name shit. It's publicity. It's popular. It's that type of. It ain't got nothing to do with good basketball and bad basketball. Because if that was the case, y'all would have these bloopers, just like they have blooper reels on Undisputed of Westbrook's turnovers. They should have blooper reels of the LeBron James defense every damn day on the damn Undisputed.
Good point. They'll never do it.
They'll never do that. See, they pick and choose who they want to try to abuse to make look bad. Because they wasn't doing that. They could have had blooper reels. He was averaging down to the same amount of turnovers when he was averaging a triple-double. But the only thing you wanted to gloss was he got a triple-double. See, but now he on the Lakers and he ain't getting a triple-double. Now he turnover machine. He been that. Go ahead, y'all. I'm sorry.
Defensive efficiency right there. They brothers the same kind, like Pac said.
Come on, man.
Same kind.
They down there with Nick Richards and that's what they down there with Nick Richards. Come on, man.
It's rough, dog. And I just want to point out the counterbalance because this doesn't really get said. People tend to gloss over stuff, and I'm not trying to pick on Lamont at all. What I want to pick on is the sentiment that LeBron, in my opinion, only gets critiqued on one area of the court. And like you said, we're talking about some GOAT situation shit. It's funny how nobody wants to talk about the other side of the basketball when it's that side of the basketball is hella important. And so when you just ignore it, when you're walking, watching, looking, pointing. And you know what's funny, Pope? I haven't seen, I don't remember none of those clips. The stuff I remember is different shit. He's been doing this for a while.
How you supposed to, and you want to complain and get rid of the young guys on the Lakers when you first get over there. But look at the defense you playing with these young guys. So that's what you showing. This is how we supposed to play defense. You look supposed to be King James. You come over here. Oh my, bro, come on, man. I don't even understand who. I don't. I'm glad you got the words. You good with the words because I'm lost the words.
Well, it became comical because I didn't watch that full highlight, low light thing. I just kind of wanted to give some backdrop to what I was saying about what Coach Casey said about him not being able to play on-ball defense. And when Lamont went live with this, he did a preview. I was in the comments. I was like, yeah, we all knew that. And then there's some people kind of giving excuses, in the comments. And I was just like, well, that's kind of how it is, though. It's like when he does something, it gets glossed over instead of the truth being told. And I just want his whole body of work to be told. That's always my point. Like, I'm never too high or too low on anybody. Like, Kobe, my favorite player of all time. I don't have him the best of all time. I don't have him top 10. I got him like at 11. I don't. Kobe, I'm a Kobe stan. Like I'm a straight up Kobe stan. Right. But I don't get away with my evaluation if that's what I'm just doing, just flat out evaluating. So I had to say that, bro. I had to let the people know, man.
Okay, I got you, man. You let the people know. That was beautiful, man. I mean, like as far as, sheesh, man. LeBron James, I was hoping that the Lakers was going to be smart and do away with this guy. And it seems to me like, it just can't be that dumb. It just got to be a publicity thing. Lakers, LeBron James, he's in LA. He got all his business. It's only right. But it just don't make no sense. Now, you can get rid of this guy and have all this money. You are the Lakers. You're not Minnesota Timberwolves. You're not a hurting franchise to be able to look good and get players in free agency. And since you don't have draft picks, you should be looking forward to copping some new young talent in the free agency to ramp up this Laker Nation for the next good decade or something. Because right now you trying to rehire, you trying to re-sign LeBron James to 2 years. That don't give us no good hope. This is what we got to look forward to again for 2 more seasons with no draft picks to go with. Come on, man.
It's rough. So what do you think we do?
I believe we got to let him go. Now, see, hopefully, we got to trade LeBron. Everybody keeps saying this Westbrook and Kyrie. Westbrook or AD. I just heard AD one time, like if they would Nets was willing to get rid of KD for AD. But none of that's going to happen. I don't believe them two dudes even got trade value. The only one who does, and he really don't even have a high trade value because of what you just displayed and the fact that he's about to be 38. So, and he demands a whole lot when it comes to getting LeBron James with your franchise. So I don't think a lot of teams is after him except for maybe the Golden State Warriors because he can fit in with Steph. But, man, they need to get from under Westbrook after this year. That's that $47 million gone. Now you got money. Get away from LeBron James. You stuck with AD, but now you can go and sign 2 max deals, and it don't have to be all just next year. You can do 1 max player in free agency next year, and find LaMelo Ball. Try to do something to go grab him, whether it's a sign and trade. But you need to be looking forward for these youngsters coming up, man. In free agency.
Agreed, man. I would love, man, if we could put a steal of the century and get LaMelo Ball, man. That would be great. That would just kind of reinvigorate our franchise. And I was actually hoping LaMelo went to Golden State for that very reason when he was first getting drafted. I wanted him to kind of keep that dynasty going. I just think he's that kind of player. But if my legacy get him instead, hey, I ain't gonna stop that, goddamn it. And I know in LeVar hearts of hearts, he would love to have that happen. So I think that'd be a match made in heaven. But as far as the logistics, who knows what it would take to pull off such a thing? I mean, hell, if I'm getting bust, I'm asking MJ off record, like, yo, you just sent you Bron.
For sure.
I'll make the money work. Like, just send me whatever trash you want to make that money, those dollars match up. You can have a bunch.
Out in the background, can you hear me?
My bad.
I can hear you. You got a little background going. We can hear you.
My bad. I didn't hear.
No, I was going to say this, bro. I think you did a masterful job in this video of breaking down a scouting report. A scouting report is a team's assessment of a player.
Yes.
Just because one guy says something doesn't make it so. You get what I'm saying? It's like, this is what I choose as a person or individual, or we choose as a staff. This does not mean it is actual fact that he's, like, for example, the whole thing about him being a better facilitator. Well, technically, Mike came back this last couple of years, pulled his averages down. But even still, if you just take his average of 5.5 assists and juxtapose that to 7.4 assists for a guard, LeBron is a better facility, a better. He's really not, because if you take it, so you telling me you're not going to play defense the whole damn game? You ain't played defense in a decade just to average 2 more assists than Michael Jordan? I mean, that's what we're talking about. We're reducing the game down to, well, he has more points and statistical. And these young people nowadays love shit like this. They love shit like this. They love these stats. And well, see, this proves it don't prove shit. I can watch a game and see a dude walking on defense. I can watch a game and see a dude really choosing weak defensive assignments. I can watch a dude who, when he was playing center and he had to go up against some real heat, he would sit out. He did that for like the last 6 weeks of the season. I can watch a dude who only wants to play with the top 5 talent in the NBA, right? Mm-hmm. Everybody is either top 5, top 8 player. That's all he want to play with. His whole career has been riddled with that. I don't even, and I'm to say I'm a hater. I don't have a problem with him not saying anything about Bill Russell. I don't. He does not have to speak on Bill Russell if he doesn't want to, right? I don't even have a problem with to say I think he's a great father. Okay, there, I said it. I think he's a great father. I ain't gonna know about husband. I don't really know about husband because I ain't gonna go into all that. But as far as a father, he seems like a great father. Mm-hmm. Apart from his stupid ass political arguments, I think he's a great role model in certain aspects. But when it comes to his team, him as a team player and how he plays the game. See, it's one thing to be an asshole and you're winning. It's one thing to be an asshole and you bring the best out of your team. It's another thing to be an asshole and y'all don't win. And you're getting your stats. You're getting your, you know what I'm saying? And so this dude leaking this shit, I don't really give a fuck about a damn. This shit ain't even important to me. The fact that somebody would leak an actual scouting report, who gives a fuck? I don't care about a scouting report about a 40-year-old player. I don't. Like, okay, he's about to be gone. I'll be glad when the motherfucker just sit his ass down, lead a game, because he's dominating the whole media. Him, Clutch Sports, they're bolstering his numbers, tearing down other players to make himself look great, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's at a point. And then people that call themselves objective, clearly, if you think that this man is a decent defender, he's not. You say it below average. He said, well, he's an average defender. No, he's not average. He's way below average. He's at the bottom of the damn NBA. He's like ranked below 400. So there are 300, 400 and some odd players in the NBA that are better defensively than him. I mean, just to sit here, you know what I'm saying, to sit here and ignore these facts and just say, well, yeah, man, he's great this, he's great that. It's just unfair. I think we need to tell the truth about who this guy is for years. I don't think this guy report is not going to change anyone's opinion. And to sit and say that a casual fan, you're a casual fan if you don't like LeBron James. I will sit here and tell you LeBron James is one of the 10 to 12 greatest players to ever play the game. And I'm still a casual fan and I'm a hater. That's why I don't fucking like LeBron James. I can't stand his ass because anybody that you can say, hey, if I say, hey, you one of the greatest rappers to ever rap, you're a top 12 rapper, or you're a top 12 doctor, a top 12, that's respectable because there have been millions of people that tried to grab a mic and rhyme. There have been millions of people, probably billions of people by now that have tried to grab a basketball and be great. There have been billions. And yet you are one of the 12 greatest. What does that really say about you? You don't have anything to hold your head down about. If I say, man, look, you're a 4-time champion, you won this, you got this, you got all these accolades, and you're a good player. But if I'm telling the truth, why I don't like you is because of the constant dick sucking that we see on the media, the constant bolstering, the constant uplifting of over all these other players, not just Jordan. Yes, I'm a Jordan fan, but it's not just Jordan. Kobe. You lift this guy over Kobe. You lift this guy over Shaq. You lift this guy over Tim Duncan. You lift this guy over Wilt Chamberlain, Magic. I'm like, wait a minute, stop, man. Like this is where I'm like, and if you look at Michael Jordan as a rebounder or a shooting guard, he's a better rebounding shooting guard than LeBron is see what I'm saying, small forward. So that point you made earlier about the alligator versus the eagle, that's the problem I have. We don't do that nowadays. All we do is sit and watch these debate shows, and then we try to act like they don't influence people's opinions when
Right.
You're looking at a stat sheet and making an argument based on a stat sheet. You can't tell me that this dude has not had his heart ripped out his chest and given up on numerous occasions against San Antonio, and he gave up against Dallas. He gave up against Boston. You can take his heart out his chest. One thing that Vernon Maxwell said, he's like, man, that dude didn't quit. That's what we call heart. That desire to not quit, the desire to keep coming at you, play after play after play after play after play. That's what I call heart. LeBron, when he sees he's gonna lose, shifts his focus to, okay, how many points I got? All right, I'm gonna call it in. That's him. We see that in a regular season. We see that throughout his whole career. This scouting report changes. It doesn't prove anything. And let me say one more thing. At the early onset of the video, that's why I say this hard for me to listen to. The brother said, so for those of you that say that they don't play defense, this scout report proves they do. Come on, man. That's like saying, I don't know, for those of you that say, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, a stripper isn't a good mom. They're like, come on, you're a fucking stripper. Like, clearly we can look at you and see you're not a good example for your child. Clearly we can look and see how Mike D'Antonio revolutionized the game, right? He changed the game. Literally, who was it? I think it was whoever it was that came to Phoenix, and he said he played defense, and Mike D'Antoni took him out the game for playing defense. He's like, don't do that. Don't. The energy you're putting on defense, you could have been going down and setting up for a three. He said, man, Mike D'Antoni was different, right? And so what happened is, it was an exciting way. That's what basically made Steve Nash who he was. Exciting game to watch. Steve Nash, the same shit. And so he was like, you know what? We're going to start playing defense. That shit is everywhere. That doesn't mean teams don't do scouting reports. Yeah, they do scouting reports, but does that mean that they play defense like they played with the Knicks or the damn Indiana Pacers did in the 90s? Hell no. Like, come on, man. Stop it.
Go ahead, Pope. What you got?
Oh man, Sub, you killed me with the we can clearly see you are not setting a good example. He used
that's what I'm saying. I'm just saying, like, if your mom a stripper and she bringing dudes home to throw her next room, are you a good mom? Well, look, I look, hey, I feed them. I put a roof on. Shit sound like I put a roof over their head, so I'm a good mom. You supposed to have a scouting report. It's the NBA. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's a defensive league right now. You telling me that they play the same amount of defense on the dude from Atlanta? What's his name? Trae Young? That they might have played on a smaller guard his size in the 90s? They'd have knocked his damn teeth out. His ass would have been out here doing that shit he doing. That dude wouldn't even probably made it to the fucking league. I'm just being straight. I knew their ass off, but they wanted you to do other shit. He's just a scorer. He's a great scorer, but he's a scorer, man. I know a dude went to the Atlanta Hawks camp and was the lead scorer, put in major work. They cut his ass. He was like 5'11", bony. Could jump out the gym, but he's 5'11" and skinny as hell. They couldn't take, but today, he's a $200 million. Not act like the game has not evolved in that direction. I'm not saying this gets better, but the game has evolved, and we made this consensus last time I was on here that we all agree that probably the early 2000s were a better, you know what I'm saying, more balanced. It wasn't as physical, but it was still defensive, you know, and people still played. It was more of a balanced approach. It wasn't all just jacking up threes. And so, you know, look, I've made my case a million times on this channel, bro. I'm at Wolf Lodge with my son. I'm up here. I don't want to be up here. I'm sure some of the LeBron set with me in the comments. I'm not even going to read them. So, God bless y'all, man. Y'all have a good one.
Already, sir. Appreciate
right
that.
on, Sub. Sub-Zero came with the cold takes. You know what I mean? Viciously. I like it, man. Everything you said was all 100. It was all actual, factual. And this is beautiful. Ain't no sugarcoating over here on Hoop Jargon Network Media. You feel me? It's a beautiful situation, man, to expose this cat for what he really is. I get so tired, just like Sub and a lot of others, hearing LeBron is the GOAT and this, that, and the other. It's like y'all make y'all make people dislike this cat on his basketball game, I should say. Off the court, LeBron is LeBron. I probably have a beer and chill with LeBron. He seemed like a high type of cat. On the court, I wouldn't want him nowhere on my team. He's not my type of guy. I put him with a Dominique Wilkins. If any y'all got him up there past Kobe and Jordan, he damn near ain't even a Dominique Wilkins. So I'm like, come on, man. We got to start putting it in its right perspectives. In basketball, you have to play.
Hey, just to add, because if you take Dominique Wilkins and put him in this era and say, hey, you can jump around and let's go get Charles Barkley and let's go get, Kevin Johnson and all of them and put them on one team, and Dominique Wilkins is the centerpiece because his homeboy has a sports agency, and the sports agency is all up there, literally all up arguing with the executives at the sports media networks to put more segments. That's literally what they do, right? Like, that's what Stephen A. Smith said, right? That this guy, Rich Paul Rich Paul is going to get on. So wait a minute. Rich Paul goes into the doors of ESPN and sits and argues with you about segments about your homeboy. What name a player had that type of benefit? Name a player that has had that type of benefit. Name a player that when he literally walks on defense, you never see it talked about. Outside of one guy who they call a hater. The only guy I've ever seen, I don't even think Steve, what's his face talks about him walking on defense. There's a lot of shit they don't talk about with this dude. And now they convinced us, this is what gives us ratings. Well, that's like saying, hey, you can't make a black superhero movie because they won't support it. That's what that sounds like. The only reason LeBron James gets ratings is because you raised a generation of mindless zombies to say LeBron James' name. And he still has not surpassed Michael Jordan in to me in fame and popularity. When someone says, if you want to say somebody's the greatest at something, you say they're the Michael Jordan of it. You don't say LeBron James. This man been in the league, and you still don't say LeBron James' name because they used to see him lose damn near 10 times. That's why.
Right. So it's like, and listen, Deion Reed, I see. Yeah, see, Dominique Wilkins was nice as they come. A lot of people don't understand that he was a beast. Cat had a Achilles eruption and still came back and was putting up damn near 30 points a night. Dominique Wilkins was a beast. So even to give LeBron James that, like, I think people sleep on Dominique.
But that's what we get to, Pope. If you compare him to anybody not named Michael Jordan, you disrespecting him. So, you know what I'm saying? That's kind of what
Correct. Because it's like, that's who is, and it's like almost a poor man's Dominique Wilkins. Dominique was, come on, man. Dominique was crazy. That's what I'm saying. He held the Hawks down with a little 5'6".
I mean, that's what I'm saying. They disrespect guys that if you give them the same free agency, like Charles Barkley. Let's take Barkley out of Philadelphia, drop him in the middle of Miami in 2011, and tell me that would have happened to Charles Barkley. Tell me he would have got shut down like that by Sean Marion. Tell me Charles Barkley, name a series where he got shut down like that. Well, he went from averaging 28. He went from averaging 28, 29 points in the playoffs to 15 points. Name one.
All the time Sub-Zero you named that he quit on his team, bro. This is what I'm saying. I can't put him over greats like a Dominique Wilkins, who never quit, bro. Like, who was a dog of dogs. So I'm like, when people you name so many different times, it's even more times than that. But them is the glaring ones. Them is
bro. I've seen no name rookie play, like not like guys that are just on teams that are no name guys. Rip his heart. I've seen him get shut down by these guys. I've seen him capitulate. I've seen it in a regular season game where LeBron only had 20 points. No, that dude was checking his ass. That dude went at his ass, and he could not handle it. Now, am I saying that? Let's take it top 10, the top 12. I ain't gonna put him in no top 5. Fuck that.
Hold on, wait. You gotta highlight something. You saying some heavy shit, and you gotta that. Something like Hoop was saying, sometimes less is better. When you said some key shit, they took his heart, bro. Let that sizzle in people's spirit. You can take LeBron James' heart, and it's been took many times. But
which is why Michael Jordan. Which is why I hate comparing eras, because Michael Jordan Michael Jordan said it's unfair to these guys. They never face me, right? But you never, like, you could say, hey, Bill Russell, we never seen nobody just knock it out of Bill Russell. We never seen nobody knock it out of, or Michael Jordan or Magic Johnson, get it knocked out of him. You know what I'm saying? We've seen LeBron in his prime, at his peak. We're not talking about 35 years old, 36. We're talking about at his peak.
Deshaun Stevenson blew in that nigga's earlobe. You hear me?
But I mean, he was Deshaun. He was just playing. That was
listen. What I'm saying is, hold on. I'm saying less is you got to make sure it's sizzling spirit. Ain't nobody blowing in no Kobe or nobody Jordan and none of that, nigga. What? You not blowing in no Shaquille O'Neal, Charles Barkley. You not doing it.
No, you because he would have. See that? Hold on. That's what Vernon Maxwell said. He said he would have humiliated you. Now Vernon Maxwell, when he played Michael Jordan, was a fierce competitor, right? He wasn't no bitch. See, a lot of people don't know that. They think, oh man, these dudes just bowed down to Michael. No, these dudes would fight and be at Mike's head during the game. You would never know. Now that we retired, now that he's older, yeah, man, that's Black Jesus there, man. That dude was something else, man. John Moran, you don't want them problems, man. I'm telling you, man, he'll turn around and do. Now he telling the truth. I went up against dudes where you saw us going at it. I don't give a damn who this nigga is. But then now that I'm 47 years, I said that was a bad motherfucker, that boy. I can tell the truth. And people are telling the truth about Michael. It is consistent across. And these are dudes that today, if they were in the NBA, you take Vernon Maxwell and put him in the NBA today, you telling me he can't do what Dame Lillard does? Yes, he can. You telling me he can't do what Trae Young does? Yes, he can. These guys act like these little guards that's hitting all these threes and putting up all these points. James Harden was a system situation. They changed the rules. He's not as good anymore. So don't and people say that, like, you telling me you can't hand check Michael Jordan, the dude who averaged 34 points a game? You telling me you can't hand check him?
And y'all know where Steph Curry got his game from, right? You know where he patented his game after, right? What's his name? Mahmoud Abdul Rauf.
Yeah, I remember him in college. He was Chris Jackson. Yeah, he was a beast.
Correct, a beast. He was destroying every point guard and Jordan. He gave Jordan 30-something. Like, Jordan couldn't check him. And if you go look at his game, the way he pulled up in people's face, even though it was more perimeter because the threes wasn't a thing, but the way because he got his shot off so quick, and it was like, I remember when Dell Curry he was in the interview and said he told Steph he needed to watch Abdul Rauf and patent his game, like, because he's short, he's small, but he automatic bucket. He can get his shot off against anybody, anytime, and it's efficient.
You remember Benny Johnson?
Oh,
Mike played Benny.
Yeah, you remember?
Yeah.
That was the dude what would he do today? Because he could score. I used to see this dude get in the game late and run off 10 straight minutes, bro. I'm talking about not just one time. I'm talking about consistently. He was a walking. He literally could. Any game he'll get in, run it off.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
To meet up for a second. Shout out to Humble in the building, man. Shout out to I Really Hoop. Appreciate y'all coming through, man. We had a classic stream, man. So this one you might want to run back. I'm just saying, this was a classic. Go ahead.
Fire stream, man. You did the damn thing, breaking down everything. Yes, this was joyful right here, man. I enjoyed being a part of this stream right here. Definitely,
Sure, man.
The Lakers, man, we got to get on track. I think that I don't know if it's a good thing or if it's a part of their plan to give him $97 million so they can use him for a sign and trade deal next year off season, because you might can do better than just trading them during the before trade deadline. Because usually having to come together with a nice package and all of this, cats don't want to do. But a signing trade for someone you're about to lose, a franchise is about to lose a player and don't want to be there anyways. you might can get, a better deal. I don't know. Having LeBron James under contract, so to be able to use it for a signing trade. What you think about that?
Use him for a signing trade?
Yeah, in the offseason the next year. You think they would do such a thing?
With LeBron?
Yeah, because I'm like, if you try to trade him, you probably want too much, or you won't get the value. Mm-hmm. Would you get a better value if you have him under contract for at least 2 seasons, and you get somebody in free agency who a restricted free agent, one of them youngsters who are restricted free agent, and possibly do a sign and trade?
Yeah, I made a video. Let me scroll my catalog real quick. Let's see. I want to try to be smooth with the transition, but it probably won't let me be great. I made a video saying it's time to trade LeBron James about 8 months ago.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not because LeBron James ain't a great player and all that. I know I got to put all that preamble shit out. But the reason I said it is because his stock is still high. So you don't want to be the person hold on to that joker too long, and you already lost your hand, so you're trying to wait to throw down that joker, and then the game already over.
Right.
So we got an ace, or the ace or whatever, however whatever game you're playing, but you understand the sentiment. Hold on to big sticks too long, and you're gonna be stuck with big six, and then somebody else gonna cash out on your hand. So what I asserted was, and I'm trying to find this damn video as I'm talking, that it's been time to get rid of him again, not because he's not great, not because he's still not going to put asses in the seats, which he is going to do this year when he passes Kareem. And that's cool.
Right.
But I'm worried about what's good for us in the long term. What's good for us as far as accruing assets, getting up under bad situations, and then moving forward in a righteous way. And I just think it's been time to get rid of him.
Yeah,
it is, man. It is what it is. It's in what fashion, to your point, a sign and trade, perhaps. I'm amongst the school of thought of just finding somebody with some talent where they ain't just working out, and be like, hey, man, we got LeBron James. So I was hoping that Brooklyn for KD's situation, KD get on my damn last nerve right now as a big fan of his. Again, I keep it real, man. I can be a fan of you and just call it how I see it.
Man, let me tell you. Hoop on 2K, you can't even. LeBron James ain't got no trade value on 2K right now.
That's rough, dog. That's rough.
I promise, nigga put in the what you call it, trade finder.
Yeah,
you put LeBron James, press start. It come up with one team maybe. OKC for Sean Gilchrist-Alexander. Some shit like that. Shit.
Well, I'm scrolling my back channel. Y'all can see I put this video out in February 27th. And I said,
that's hard. How you do this?
LeBron James.
Lakers, is it time? Yeah, man.
I said it's time. I didn't say is it. I said it's time.
Oh, it's time. Yo, Black, it's time. Like my nigga Nas say, man, I can't believe they offered the man 97. I would have, my whole plan as a GM of the Lakers, man, I would have been, we got to get rid of him before the trade deadline. Put him on the trade block, period. Let's shop him around right now. Like you said, it's been time. And so we're not going to re-sign him, so let's go try to get something for him. If we can't get nothing for him, then shit, good riddance. We be ready to reload in free agency. We have, oh my goodness, the books is gonna be lovely. So I would be looking forward to getting just from away from LeBron James, Russell Westbrook after this year. We got a new young coach in Darvin Ham. AD is there. He signed up for a couple of years. Okay, his stock is not high, so we're not going to even. If we can get rid of him, no. I'm trying to start all the way fresh. So whoever want to take AD for, give me a draft pick or two. Give me a first round draft for real. I'm real talk. I give you AD for a first round draft pick. Nigga, one of them. Cause I know he ain't that valuable. So here, take AD. Give me a draft pick. Boom. And I try to get two. But if you only want to give me one at the end of the day, okay. Please take them. Now I got all three of them off my books, bro, and able to start fresh as a Laker. And you know, I'll make sure that draft pick 2 is a lottery pick if I'm a Laker. I wouldn't take the back end of a first round. I want to take more of a top 10 pick. So I negotiate with, you know, top 5 worst, you know, one of the worst 5 teams in the league. By trade deadline, here you go, man. Take this ADZ. Give me first round pick. Or even if it's next year, I would try to get him out of there. Westbrook, ain't nobody going to take Westbrook. Forget about it. So I think everybody know you stuck like Chuck with him. So that's cool. He there for the year. I would release him. I would release him straight. Huh?
Like my boy E40 say, nope.
No. I would release Westbrook, pay him his $47 million, get out of my locker room, out of my hairs. LeBron, you ready to go? So I'll be just letting everybody know. We clearing the decks. So this ain't no disrespect to AD, LeBron. I just feel like we need to clear the decks and start over. and you know, we releasing Westbrook. Here go your $47 million. We're gonna take away that contract we offer LeBron. Pick your team where you ready to go, nigga, so you can go. Yeah. AD, we need a first round draft pick for AD, whether it's next year or 2024, 5 or whatever. So yeah. But we clearing the decks.
Hey man, like I said, man, sometimes you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them.
You gotta know when to hold them. Know when to hold them.
Know when to walk away.
Hey. Oh shit, that commercial, I used to love with that shit.
It's like a Geico commercial.
Hell yeah, I used to turn my TV up when you gotta know when to hold them. Yeah, man. No. Straight up, man. It's Lakers all day, man. I'm hoping. Oh, that's what I might want to call it. Shit, Lakers all day. Sheesh, man. But yeah, I know Dr. Bus is not happy.
Man.
He was just like, oh man, what is we doing here? Y'all offering this man $50 million?
What?
Don't play no defense. Don't have no IQ on defense. He sunk that one you showed where he sunk all the way, went to the underneath his man standing at the 3. And he went, I'm like, bro, why?
What?
Why? Like, who does that? Just all of those clips you showed, it was all big whys. Like, you are not even trying, bro. You didn't even run back on defense after you turning ball over. That's because that's what defense is. Defense is effort. It's hustle. And then to be a great defender, you learn, like you was saying earlier in the video.
See what they got.
Just saying,
dog.
Right, horrible. Like you were saying earlier in the video, when you become a great defender is when you learn cadences and people's tendencies and what they, how they do this, and you paying attention to that and that and the other. But for the most part, if you hustling and communicating on defense, your teammates communicating, you hustling, you're gonna get to rebounds and you're gonna get some stops. You'll at least be, busy. But what we just seen and witnessed was no effort whatsoever. No, it's like he doesn't even, you can tell he don't hold himself accountable, because he will come out after those losses and act like the team played horrible.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny when one of the people said, because y'all noticed he wiped his chest every time he fuck up.
Yeah, buddy did point that out.
He did. I hear TNT. I'm like, he said he wiped his chest at least. He had time to wipe his chest, but he didn't get his ass back. And that right there, ladies and gentlemen, I'm just saying, I've never seen no greats play like that. And the fact you pointed out, they down 14. It's only second quarter. It ain't like it's a minute left, 2-3 minutes left in the fourth. It's over with. Even still, you fight to the end.
Mm-hmm.
But damn, bro, second quarter down 14, you just giving away buckets. and you've been doing this since the Cleveland Cavaliers, and with the young Lakers and Lonzo and Brandon Ingram, who they looking to you to lead them. But that's what you're doing. That's why I say Cal Kuzma pushed him like it's been a long time coming, homie. Since I was a rookie, you've been doing this shit, and we get the blame. You got all the homies shipped out of here, and your old ass ain't never been playing defense over here. That was one of those. I'm strong enough to, cause I mean, he pushed the boy. He could have gave him a whiplash the way he pushed the shit out of you.
I'm gonna go to it one more time.
Book. See what they got.
Come on, man.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Get your ass over there,
Kobe
man.
get done like that, honestly.
Man.
Can you see Kobe get done like that, bro?
No.
Like,
no. Come on. And that's what I'm like, Lakers, why y'all trying to hold on? He's not a real Laker. Like, he came over here for a couple years. He's not a true Laker. You don't offer him that type of money like he been putting it down here for the longest and he's a Laker. No. We still don't view him as a Laker. He looks silly in that. Look at him. He looks silly with the purple and gold on. He don't look like a Laker.
I give him credit. At least he in a defensive position. I give him that credit.
Yeah, looking.
We saw
Kawhi,
he
like, boy,
up.
you know you don't play. Look at Kawhi looking at him underneath. Yeah. You really go try this?
That boy about to sweep through, go right by his ass.
He finna sweep through. I'm finna, boy. That is all for the camera right there. You know,
we ain't gotta give no move. Just a little rip through.
Little rip through. That's what look at him. He got the ball in the perfect position for the rip through or the halfway rip through.
Yeah, just go out the way. Yeah.
Oh, got you. Got you. Halfway rip through, pound dribble, spin or something, nigga. Cash you out.
That's the thing, though. On the video, man, again, the stuff I'm pointing out, I'm not pointing out obvious it's bad defense. I'm pointing out bad location, bad posture, no effort, and just standing up and watching, dog. It's like, I understand a basketball game is a long game. I understand that. And some people say, like, okay, you score so much, you can't dedicate that much time to defense. Okay, I'll meet you there. But shit, like the stuff that he doing, it's like, dog, it's like putting an 8th grader out there and asking him to play NBA basketball. You would got the same output putting an 8th grader out there.
Right. That's so frustrating. As a coach, as an NBA coach, I'm smashing that, bro. This is what I'm saying. I know it's a different sport. Bill Belichick, bro, I can imagine if LeBron James was Belichick was LeBron James' coach in the field room. Like, what the fuck, man? Really? Are you serious?
Hey, repeat this, though. You know, the biggest thing is, like, people say, oh, LeBron never had a top-tier coach. Like, well, okay, here's a trade-off. When you play with situations where you control the action, you can afford to slack off in situations like that. But when you play with a coach that's gonna hold you accountable, guess what you can't do no more? You can't take plays off like that.
No.
You're getting your ass, and they're gonna be forcing to either A, it's him or me. And it's not like whereas, you know, I mean, if any coach not named Phil Jackson or Greg Popovich or who's another one in that little ilk of guys. Spoelstra probably had that cachet just because it's Pat Riley over him. Can't nobody else really tell him shit. So it's like, nah, bro, you don't get to have with them coaches because they know that they don't get their ass fired dealing with you. You don't talk about it. I mean, the shit go two ways, man. The shit goes both ways. You can't have carte blanche to do what you want to do and then want to request as a great coach because a great coach is going to take the reins from you a little bit.
Right. And he chooses the coaches he has. He chooses every coach he has. Like, if he wanted to, you know how many times he could have went to the Spurs?
Yeah.
You know how many times he could have went and got coached by Greg Popovich? Lots of times. He chose to go to Miami Heat. They had an unknown coach in Eric Spoelstra. Nobody knew what he was. You know. So he chose to go there. Then he chose to go back to Cleveland when they had Blanco or whatever. He chooses to go to these coaches that's like that. And then when they fired him, he has a big say in who they hire. To go to these coaches that's like that. And then when they fire, you know what I mean? So it's like you say, man, that's on him. He know what he doing. He know he can go, okay, I can go over there. Luke Walton over there on the Lakers. Oh, yeah, I run that whole situation.
Yeah.
I'm the coach.
I'll give you a real life situation, Pope. When I was so my freshman year, I played at Stephen F. Austin State University. So we won. We actually just moved up. We're in the Big Sun Conference now, the Sun Belt Conference now. We was in Southland at the time. And I remember when I left there, I was either gonna go to Southern University or this JUCO called Richland College. And Richland College had a cat named the heir up there, Torian Fontenette, on the team at the time. And the dude, and if y'all don't know who that is, the dude who did that 720 dunk, remember him?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I was gonna go play with him, but I heard they worked real hard and they had a real tough coach, dude named Clark Burke. And I was just like, all right, do I really want to go to that? Or the alternative was go in Dallas as well, a school called Mountain View College, which is Oak Cliff. I chose to go to Mountain View because I heard that they don't be doing a lot. I could come there and just be the man, which ended up happening. So I chose that. I knew I could have been with a better coach, with better players, and had to look for a harder spot. I chose to go to the easier spot. I made that decision. Dudes in the NBA do the same shit. So I can't double back and be mad that I had this bullshit program at Mountain View because the coaches are bullshit, because I knew it before I came into it. Because I had the option to go to there or another school called Colin County, which had a really good coach. His name Sigonia at the time. I chose it and I made my decision. So you can't go reverse engineer society in history and act like, well, if I would have had Coach Bergman, I would have been a JUCO All-American, because I almost was one. But I made my choice and I got to deal with the results. And after that, fortunately, I got a scholarship at Prairie View and I went back to D1. But I probably could have went to a bigger school or whatever if I would have pushed myself harder or gave myself a different talent. I chose my path. These things, so I'm not going to give LeBron the clemency like, oh, well, if he had this coach, he could have went to him if that's the case. He could have went. He chose his path, and that's cool. But you get the smoke you get for your decision.
Right. And when you that dude, when you that guy, it don't even matter who your coach is. I mean, it do. But Tom Brady is Tom Brady. Man. I'm just saying, you can go to a Bruce Arians who really ain't had a winning record. They just go off a little. You can go over there and make him a champion. You understand me? We're gonna do things my way over here, Bruce. We'll mix in a little bit of your way, but a lot of it of my way, and we're gonna win. Yeah. When you're a certain type of guy, you don't need it. I mean, because what was Bill? Even though Bill, I respect Bill, but what was Bill Belichick before he let Tom take over?
A losing coach.
He was a losing coach. Right. He was a losing coach, bro. Damn, people understand that. Even had Drew Bledsoe, still he one of the top quarterbacks in the league. Still was losing. That same team with all of the strategies that Bill come up with and all the extra work he got for people and all of that, they was losing. When Tom took over, Patriots was born.
I give him a little credit for that Matt Castle experiment. Yeah, he had Matt Castle looking like a guy. And the Chiefs overpaid for him, and they saw what Matt Castle really was. He's a bum.
No, but see, you got to think though, who by then, because that's the quarterback, not the quarterback, the offensive coordinator, and the system was already well in place. It was beautiful with Tom Brady. When you mimicking Tom Brady, and you've been practicing over there, and you got that squad you got, because at that time that was a squad with Randy Moss, Wes Welker. And them cats, they had just went undefeated the year before. So it's like, you got a hell of a squad over here, and all you got to do is dink and dunk, and the defense is crazy. You're going to win some games, but you still didn't even make the playoffs.
I think they did. They were like, I don't think they won a game in the playoffs. Matt Castle, they had a good record.
I think they missed the playoffs, my nigga. They missed the wild card by a little bit because they didn't lead. Let me see. Did they lead the AFC that year? Yeah, AFC East. I don't think they led I think the Jets led that year, the AFC East, with the boy Mark, the hell his name is, from USC.
Butt Bumble.
Yeah, Buff. I believe the Jets ran the AFC East that year, and they were second, which had kept them out the playoffs. I believe so. I'm not, but you know what I mean. They had a good record though. It was like 11-5. It was 11-5, but it wasn't good enough for you. They like what people say is they won 11 games with Matt Castle.
They didn't go to the playoffs with 11 games?
Huh?
They didn't go to the playoffs that year?
I don't believe so.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I believe they was like they had just missed it by you know what I mean? Because they had to win the East. Everybody was cracking the AFC. They had good records. And it was either wild card. I don't even think they made the wild card, bro.
That's crazy.
You know what I mean? But they look smooth. They won 11 games. That was what people were saying. But they won 11 games with Matt Castle. So that offense was good, and their offense was smooth, and that's what people was trying to say. It ain't Tom Brady, it's the system. I remember that shit. But it's like I say, you got an undefeated squad who was basically just undefeated. They lost one game the year before that, and you take over that team and you've been the backup forever, so you know the system. Because even Jacoby Brissett looked good.
Yeah, I was just about to say.
Yeah, said right. Jacoby Brissett.
Good.
Right. You just got a little. When you get to patting your shit after the goal, it's a different. You know what I mean? You there every day. You get to witness it for yourself. You elevate your game. That's what I mean about Thomas. He made everybody around him better. To the point, what that boy name is who went to the 49ers, Garoppolo. To the point when he came in for Tom, he looked good. He not really good. Now he got his own squad. You see, they didn't hire him.
He did go to the Super Bowl, though, for the 49ers. I got to give him that. And 49ers with the trash garbage.
But no, they had a hell of a team around them. That's the thing. They was able to cover a lot of stink up.
3 years before that, though, like the 49ers was a shambles. That was after Kaepernick situation. Like the 49ers was a lot of that, though. But, I mean, in hindsight, yeah, you're absolutely right. But before he came, though, it wasn't. You remember how Richard Sherman was mad, how like all the media was saying how they're gonna suck? He's like, nah, don't root for us now. Remember that?
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, they had some young dogs. They kept the defense. That defense was crazy. But what you seen when he got to the Super Bowl, because to me, even Colin Kaepernick, he wasn't that good to me throwing the football. He could run that thing, but throwing the football was like certain throws he couldn't make.
Yeah, it
but Garoppolo in that Super Bowl, he couldn't. They wouldn't even throw the ball because he not that good. So it's like we ran the football and we got to this point. Really, he made a couple good plays here and there regular season, but all in all, I mean, Tom is that dude. It's like that's the goat of our goats to me. It's like shit. You take a whole football team and let Asante don't listen to me. Asante Samuel, he'll tell it to you. What the great, because he one of the best DBs of all time to me too. Asante Samuel. He played with Tom for many, many years. Let the cat that was what's his name from the Steelers? He was a linebacker, and then he went over to the Patriots for a few years. He was a beastie linebacker on the Steelers. Battled with the Patriots in the playoffs, and he was like, man, you know what I'm talking about? Harrison. Yep. He went over there and was like, when they asked him after he left the Patriots, he said, man, yeah, the dude is real. He said everything they talk. He said, I was going in there with the, like, yeah, let me check this out. Like, you know, he don't rock with Tom because they've been battling versus Tom, and he been trying to have to stop Tom all this time. Yeah. But he trying to see is all the hype. Like, is he a leader like that? And do he work like that? And he solidified him. Like, bro, the dude is all of that. He all of what everybody was talking about.
There it is, then, Stu. When a guy like that give you that cosign, then, you know, it's really for real. And I would say, too, Ocho Cinco, man, he was just like, man, when I came to the Patriots, and he didn't last long. But
Right.
he came there, it was like it was a whole new world, like Ariel from Little Mermaid. You know what I'm saying? Like, so he was like, man. But,
Shady McCoy. Let him tell it. We won because of Tom. That's something. Did you? If you ain't seen I Am Athlete, you know what I mean, with the Brandon Marshall and all of them on there, LaShawn McCoy. Man, the way they big up Tom, LaShawn McCoy, like, yeah, I came to Tampa Bucks, man. Tom Brady changed the whole shit. Everything was, whatever he said, go get him. They went and got him. They switched out plays. They did this, that, and the other. Tom was the reason we won the Super Bowl. Then they interviewed Asante Samuels, and they asked him, was it Bill or was it Tom? He like, nigga, Bill, yeah, right. Tom Brady. We won them Super Bowls because of Tom Brady. Like straight up. Yeah, so, you know, when you got cats like that who vouch, when I keep hearing that, I don't ever hear nothing else. Everybody who play with them, and they can be from cats from different hoods and all of that.
I can't argue with no pro. If you got that much cosigners, man, I can't argue.
Yeah, too many.
It's too many. I can't argue that.
And you talking about greats too, not even just no players that was just there, not getting no PT. Nah, these are cats that was big part of the winning. Like Asante Samuels was their best defender for years. Basically his whole time there. And for him to say we won because of Tom, not because our defense was stopping stuff. He on the other side of the ball. That's what I'm saying. This is a defensive player on your team who's saying we won games and Super Bowls because of that dude, number 12.
There we go.
Even though I'm over here getting picks, I'm leading league in picks and everything else. We not winning without him. And so, yeah, I'm like, yeah, man, good. But don't take our word, man.
Yeah, exactly.
LeBron, I would doubt any. You know what's gonna be funny to get back on this LeBron? I can't wait till he's all said and done. And you know how all these old stories, people who used to play with you and so on and so forth, when they retired and they start telling the stories. Watch, bro. Watch me. It's gonna be interesting to hear how many stories of his teammates get to really telling the truth once they leave. Because right now, you say some bad about LeBron, you'll look crazy. You might even damage your career. He that type of guy right now in the league. So you gotta kind of keep stuff to yourself until after it's all said and done. Same thing they've been doing, you know. But like, you know, when they come out talking about Michael Jordan, how he used to be in practice and this, that, and the other, and Kobe and so on and so forth. But it'd be all good stuff. Like he was fired up all the time. He got energy. I can't wait to hear the LeBron James stories.
Yeah, they definitely gonna come out.
They gonna come out. They gonna come out. Once he out the league or once these cats start retiring, they gonna come out, man. Like, nah, man. He wasn't that guy.
Don't say the Pope and Hoop ain't tell you, man. So around this bad boy, I'm about to actually go scoop one of my youngest, man. He just finished up at Texas Southern University.
What's up?
Yeah, and I'm gonna go interview him on Venice Beach. So he hit a hell of a tournament last 2 years, man. So he about to head overseas and try to get in the NBA, man. So I'm gonna go interview him. I'm gonna try to make my first production. I'm gonna try to do it all by myself. So I got my camera, I got the footage. Well, I'm about to get the footage. So
nice.
Get cleaned up so I can head out there and head over to Santa Monica. But man, Pope, appreciate you, bro.
No problem, man. Appreciate you, man. It's been a good one.
Absolutely.
Your candle.
Absolutely, man. I appreciate it, man. I hope y'all enjoyed this stream. Again, I try to walk this down slow. I try to walk it down the right way. And shout out to FYF for covering it on the front end. I didn't want to attack his perspective. I wanted to come at it from my perspective, given his the backdrop he laid out. So, y'all like what I do over here, man. Y'all hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. That's all I got for y'all, man. Till next time, Hoop, I'm out. Peace.
Shout out to Hoop Jargon, man. I'm gonna add you to the crew, man. This crew called Hoop Jargon. They've been getting at it, man. They the ones that's gonna grill you, man, because they majority are all Houston people. So that's
shout out to Hoop Jargon.
Man, I'm here with my man with Hoop Jargon, the best in the game, man. And you know I only let selected few in my circle. And this is a real dude right here. We gonna get down with the get